place?
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I wonder how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence. Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to. But I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings. And then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug. But we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. Thank you. I will let you work. Greetings, Desarde. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here. And the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias. But they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left. and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. I will leave you to your work. Goodbye. Father.
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the Village of the Old Sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthias, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent the missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people, and yet...
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened, but someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Hello, de Sardet. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onolmenawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Thélème, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them. They were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the was didn't. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men, perhaps wiser than they are.
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
I do not think they will hurt us. They want peace too, and violence would break it all.
I understand why you are no longer the chief, if you do not even know what the inhabitants of your village are doing.
You're right. I was indeed a bad chief. I couldn't even convince those who left to stay.
Since you do not want to talk, I will have to tell the Mother Cardinal to send the Ordo Luminis. The Inquisitors will make you confess the name of the person who helped the exiles.
You wouldn't do that. The Solasser would burn the entire village.
He's not really leaving me a choice. Right, let's go back to San Mateus.
Wait! I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go.
Like so many others.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
On the other hand, had they followed their chief's example, this wouldn't have happened. Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur. Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Bird tier Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of Saint Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
Tell me where the exiles are. I must retrieve these tablets.
You're asking me to betray my son. Promise me that you won't hurt him.
I promise. But if he reacts violently, I'll have to defend myself.
Then I hope he'll be reasonable. Bran and the others are hiding in the woods, beyond the Circle of Stone.
Thank you, Vindwal. Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
I hope you don't intend to fight them. They've already had to leave their families and their homes. They've suffered enough.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
Do it! What are you doing here?
I'm not here to fight you, but I must retrieve the tablets of St. Matthias.
What? How do you know we have them? And how? Not for thee. We will not give them back! We lost our homes and families, so the priests lose their sacred stones.
I know that you are seeking vengeance, but the priests will not be the only ones to suffer the consequences of your actions. Your mother helped you, and once they find out about it, she will pay the price in your place. Is that what you want?
No. She only told us which night we could come. They have no right to punish her for this.
I doubt the Ordo Luminous will care. They will need someone to take the blame, and she's the obvious choice.
Very well. Take the stones and leave. All that's left to do is to rejoin the Donea Exregao.
What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
Don't worry, all is well. I managed to convince him to give me the tablets.
Ad Loredar, I did not believe my son to be so reasonable. You are giving me hope. I will go see him and tell him to find another clan. A place to welcome him.
I retrieved your relics.
Thank you. Thank you immensely. Thanks to them, we will be able to continue our research on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Your indulgence honors you. But how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not punished?
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those who lived here for their opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything. We may have been a bit clumsy in the beginning, but we'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I'm very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Actually, I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. In the meantime, here, take this as a token of gratitude for the help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.
want to...
What's happening here, soldier?
These islanders want to enter a plot of land that belongs to the congregation.
They are denying us access to the glade.
We must heal it. Otherwise, this land will die.
I am sorry, but we cannot let you enter this area.
But we only want to plant some new trees. Bring life back.
These people are fanatics, Your Excellency. Several woodcutters died last night, and I'm willing to bet that these savages had a hand in it.
You are killing the earth, so it kills you in return. All of you are cursed.
Shut it, you savage!
De Sardet, I'm the legate of the merchant congregation on this island. I came to shed light on this affair. You said that some woodcutters died.
Aye, they fell sick and died a few hours later. Well, the camp doctor will be able to tell you more about it. You'll find him in the barracks right here.
Thank you, soldier. I'll go see him.
Please, Your Excellency, you may come in. Do not force us to use our weapons.
We do not want to shed...
Hello, Doctor. I am the legate of the congregation. I was told about the disputes caused by this camp. And a soldier told me that several woodcutters died recently.
Yes. They got sick yesterday afternoon, and a few hours later they were dead. I couldn't do anything except watch them writhing in pain. None of my remedies worked. If seeing corpses doesn't bother you, you can come and see the bodies. They're here. I hope that whatever killed them is not contagious.
These poor woodcutters look like they've suffered. This one has a swollen tongue. Blood at the corner of the mouth. There are some peculiar red patches on the bodies. His eyes are bloodshot. This man choked to death. Strong smell of ammonia. The entrails must have been perforated.
So, what do you think? Do you recognize their disease?
They didn't die of disease. They were poisoned. There's no doubt about it.
You're probably right. But I've heard these savages talking so much about curses. So I thought it must be a mysterious disease, rather than seeing what was before my eyes. But how could these three men be poisoned?
I'm not sure. Do their symptoms not point to anything?
No. I've never seen such a deadly poison with these symptoms.
Have you noticed anyone unusual here?
Unusual? No.
Did they drink anything in particular?
They like to drink their fills in the evening. Life is dreary here. But if the poison was in the alcohol, I'd also be on the pile of corpses.
What did they eat yesterday? Did they eat any mushrooms?
No, we avoid that kind of thing. We don't know enough about the region's plant life. The congregation provides us with dry produce, otherwise we eat game. Yesterday they butchered a beast brought by the hunters.
Hunters?
Natives who bring us game regularly in exchange for knickknacks. But they've been restocking us for months. I struggle to believe that they're involved.
Well, we'll see what they have to say. Where can I find them?
They usually hunt on the edge of the wood that leads to this camp.
Do not force us to use our weapons.
We do not want to shed blood. We want to give life back to the earth.
Do you not understand that these woods are sacred? Yeah, right.
Aye. This is our prey, Renaigse. How can we earn our reward if you hunt our prey?
We were looking for you.
Us? What do you want from us?
3 woodcutters were poisoned yesterday after eating what you brought them.
Poison? I swear we are not responsible for this.
Listen, all the clues lead to you, but it may simply have been an accident. How about you tell me exactly what happened?
It wasn't really an accident, but we did not want to kill them either.
Then tell me how it happened.
We did not decide to do this. We were trading beautiful things with the camp. But the Elder said that we would be traitors to our clan if we let the woodcutters cut down all the trees.
Which Elder?
One of the old men from Vigigidor, our village. He is very angry because we cannot heal the glade. He gave us the meat of an andrig killed by a venomous dosentats. Its flesh is perfectly edible when prepared with certain berries, but without them, eating it would be lethal. And since the Renaigse invaded our forest, these berries are nowhere to be found. He wanted it to be a lesson for them, so that they may understand that their destruction brings death.
I will not hold you responsible, but from now on you will no longer bring meat to this camp. You are the instruments of a hateful old man's vengeance. And I'm under the impression that there will be even more deaths if I do not get to the root of this problem.
The Vegigido elder thought it best to take vengeance into his own hands. I understand his anger, but Dunkus would not approve of this. He would say that bloodshed only leads to more bloodshed, and he wouldn't be wrong.
This whole thing could turn into an open war. We cannot let that happen. Sir de Corsillon will be able to give some advice on how to solve this property conflict, without violence. Sir de Corsillon.
The Sade, my young student, what can I do for you?
The mission you entrusted me with has made great progress.
Very well, let's see. Good, you have traveled great distances, and the Terra Incognita will soon be but a distant memory. Keep doing what you're doing, de Sade. Can your old professor still prove himself useful?
I have come to find you because I received a complaint from the natives of the village of Vigigidor. They want to be able to access a clearing. exploited by our woodcutters to heal it, to reforest it, I assume. But our men there say that it belongs to them, and are refusing to let the natives enter it. The site was supposedly ceded to them several months ago, but tensions are running high and some men have lost their lives. If we don't intervene, we're heading for a real confrontation.
It is very regrettable, and I approve of your desire to appease this conflict. According to what you have told me, if ever there was a contract, it must have been signed under our former governor. You should go to the archives and verify this. Then go and talk to Lady Laurine de Morange. And of course, I'll be delighted to help you once things have been clarified.
Thank you, Professor. Once more, you've been of great help.
Can your old professor still prove himself useful?
I found no traces of Professor Seraphedin yet.
That's most regrettable. But keep looking for him, will you? You never know. Can your old professor still prove himself useful?
Looking forward to seeing you again, Sir de Corsilior.
Good day, dear sir. Happy to see you again in such fine health. How can I be of service?
I need you to enlighten me about the property deed of a glade near Vigigidor. The natives want to access this place, which according to them is sacred, and which they would like to heal. But some of our men there are using this deed to deny them access to the area. Tensions are running high, and some people have died.
Yes, there was a time when we enacted a lot of contracts. Do you have the document with you?
Yes, here it is.
This cession agreement is only signed with a cross on the native side. Well, writing is foreign to them. As is the notion of land ownership. For them, the earth only belongs to itself.
If they did not possess these lands, how did they cede them?
I doubt they knew what this agreement represented, to be honest.
In that case, why make them sign it?
When we arrived on the island, we had to ensure our access to certain commodities. We also had to make sure that we had legal ownership of the lands we were occupying. The natives dreamed of possessing some baubles that they didn't know how to craft. It was easy to make them sign agreements that they didn't understand by giving them some. I was a stranger to their philosophy then. I only thought about my city, and I regret it.
I'm sure we can fix this mistake.
I hope so, Your Excellency. Come, let's find Sir de Corsilion. Can I help you with any other matter?
My lady, I have to go. Goodbye.
Sir de Corsilion, it's always a pleasure.
Madame, I expect you've come to see me about this regrettable problem concerning a clearing, which my student told me about.
Indeed. And I think I may have a solution that will allow us to solve this conflict peacefully.
I'm listening.
I must admit that I established this at a time when the culture and the mentality of the natives was foreign to me. The clan of this village was rather open to our presence. They welcomed us with benevolence. For this reason, I think we should allow them access to these lands. In doing so, we would appease the tensions, and we would also retain ownership of the wood. We would even benefit from such an agreement if the natives reforest this area. Then we could exploit it for a longer period of time.
I find this decision perfectly viable, and I approve, but several men were killed. And their comrades will seek vengeance if the person or persons responsible do not pay for their crimes.
I am convinced that Dunkus, the chief of this clan, never approved such an action.
I understand, but I will only write a decree allowing people to go to this clearing, provided the murderer is delivered to us.
Thank you, Master. I will inform Dunkus of your decision.
What brings you here on Almanawi?
At this old man's request, I investigated the conflict that opposes you and my nation regarding the clearing. You will now be able to access it freely, to accomplish your rituals or heal the area. And the congregation will keep exploiting the forest. However, there is one condition to this new agreement. You must deliver this man to us because he is responsible for the deaths of several woodcutters.
These men died because of their own foolishness. No one else is responsible for their deaths. If they hadn't cut all the ochreberry trees, they would have survived.
What does that mean? What are the two of you talking about?
3 woodcutters died after eating the meat of an andrig after it was killed by a venomous Dawson tats.
It's nothing but a terrible coincidence. And if they had eaten the ochreberries...
We know that you are responsible for this. The hunters told me everything.
How could you do this? You acted more foolishly than an irascible adolescent. By killing these men, you have brought upon us their wrath. And it is only natural that they should ask for justice.
Dunkus, I beg you. I only wanted the Renoixe to understand the value of the trees they were cutting.
Bloodshed only leads to more bloodshed, and you know that. I would never have thought you capable of doing something so foolish.
If you want to stop the woodcutters taking vengeance into their own hands, you must deliver this man to us.
I understand. But I have one condition before we make this agreement. The Lugaid Blau fooled us in the past. It is their turn to prove their good faith.
What do you want from us?
There is a mine in the forest that the congregation has long operated with help from my people. But digging into the mountain has risked it collapsing. We reinforced the earth with wood. We worked with the Lugaid Blau to save the mountain and the men. We agreed to stop digging and sealed the entrance with a boulder. But some Renaigse came back, and I think they started digging again. And some of my people started going missing. Perhaps because they had seen them break their promise. If the mountain collapses and it is your clan's fault, thousands of lives will be lost.
And you want me to intervene?
You have to stop them. Remind them of their promise. This is the price of my trust. If you do, we punish the person responsible for the death of the woodcutters, and all our quarrels will be gone.
I'll go to this mine and see what's going on.
Is there anything else?
I must leave. Goodbye, Dunkus.
Qua awalum seg.
Sorry, this is private property. I cannot allow you to enter.
Actually, no one should be able to enter. This mine is doomed. It's terribly dangerous.
I wouldn't know. Our employer, Mr. Maillard, is the owner. He's got all the deeds required. Listen, you should go to the authorities. They can confirm all the paperwork.
I definitely will.
Sorry, this is private property.
Those guys must have no respect for the lives of their men to start mining again.
These Renegades must not have taken us seriously. We should take a closer look.
We should take the path that overlooks the outer wall. We should be able to see inside from there.
They broke the stone and started digging under the mountain again. Monisiniga. They used captives from the villages to dig their mine.
They've made them into slaves. We must talk to Sieur de Courcillon. I hope that our nation is not involved in this business. Sieur de Courcillon.
Decidez, my young student. What can I do for you?
I've come to ask you about a mine near Vigigador. It was closed for a long time for security reasons, but someone has started exploiting it again.
I seem to recall that a concession in this area was sold to a Master Maillard. However, I do not recall the details of the contract. It was established by the previous government. He is a rich merchant from Serene who arrived on the island only a short while before we did. People say that he is unscrupulous.
Unscrupulous? That's an understatement. This man had some natives captured and he's using them as slaves to work in this mine.
What? Does this old brigand really think that he is above the law? We cannot tolerate such methods. But we must determine the best way to attack him. You should start by finding the deed to his property in the archives. Don't worry, we'll not let this man's behavior go unpunished. Can your old professor still prove himself useful?
Looking forward to seeing you again, Sir de Corsilio.
It seems as though you can't decipher the glyphs of your own people's document.
I get lost in all the legal jargon, but they have Lady Moronge's seal on them. We should find her, to understand exactly what they say.
Good day, dear sir. Happy to see you again in such fine health. How can I be of service?
I need your advice once more. This time it's about the property deeds of a plot of land and of a mine acquired by a certain Maillard. Here are the deeds. I must admit that I understand very little of what's written, but your seal is on it.
Do not worry. This type of document is always difficult to decipher for the uninitiated. However, they are very clear. Master Maillard is the owner of a plot of land located near Vigigador. He can exploit the forest and plant anything he wants there, but it says here that he does not have the right to exploit the mine. It's even repeated in this other paragraph. Any attempt at mining on this land is forbidden.
And yet the mine which was located on this plot of land has been reopened, and is being exploited as we speak.
According to these documents, the mine has been closed for security reasons. This man's behavior is reckless. You should go see him. He's presently in New Serene. He usually spends time at the port when he comes. He has some warehouses there.
Master Maillard.
Who's asking?
De Sardet. I am the legate of the congregation.
Well, I'm flattered. What brings you here, Your Excellency?
I'm here to talk to you about the mine you have near Vigigador. Are you aware that you have no right to operate it? Nor are you allowed to employ slaves there.
But what are you talking about? Surely this is a misunderstanding. Listen, I'm sure there is a way for us to get along. I'm an honest merchant. I've always paid all taxes, and the small bonuses needed. Please tell your cousin that I would be happy to send him the gift of his choice. Now, Your Excellency, if you will allow me, I have to get back to my activities.
I'm afraid you don't understand, Master. It's not a money problem. that mine is dangerous. And you endanger the congregation on this island by behaving this way with the natives.
Come on, don't be so serious, young man. I'm sure it's nothing that a small bonus can't fix. Goodbye, sir. Best wishes to your cousin.
Whatever you need to be the talk of all Serene!
Come closer, good people. The cure is
Sir de Corsilion.
Decidez, my young student. What can I do for you?
I verified the contract with Lady Mirange. The exploitation of the mine is illegal, as we expected. Without even taking into account what he's doing to the natives. I then went to meet Master Maillard.
So, what did he have to say in his defense?
He turned a deaf ear and tried to bribe me.
Oh, some of these merchants are so rich that they forget basic decency. But it's high time we reminded him of who is in charge of the congregation on this island. Here, this is an eviction notice which dispossesses him of all his land for breaching his contract. For his crimes against the natives, he's banished from this island. I will make him aware of this decision, but you should go to the mine immediately. The prisoners must be freed as soon as possible, and the mine closed once more.
I'll take care of it.
Can your old professor still prove himself useful?
Looking forward to seeing you again, Sir de Corsilion.
Sorry, this is private property. I cannot allow you to enter.
I don't need your authorization. I have here an eviction notice signed by the governor's ministers. The former owner, Mr. Maillard, has lost his rights due to a breach of contract.
Look, ultimately, we are not the ones who decide. We only obey the boss's orders.
In that case, where can I find him to notify him of his loss?
You'll find him around here somewhere, Your Excellency.
Excellent.
Are you looking for trouble?
Master Maillard, I'm so glad to find you here. Here is a document from Sir de Corsillon on behalf of my cousin. Considering the fact that you have not respected the terms of your contract of ownership, you are hereby expelled. The methods you used against the islanders has also ensured your banishment from Teofredi.
Impossible. By what right? Guards, this man threatens me.
Let's see what
Close to it, sir.
Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
These people were monsters. I wouldn't cry over them. Come now, let's go free my brothers, and we can tell Dunkus everything.
Go without fear. You are free. And know that we are sorry for what happened to you.
We must believe that not all Legade Blow are alike.
He is an Almanawi. That's why he understands us. Thank you. We will not forget you.
What brings you here on Almanawi?
I was able to close the mine. The man who operated it was arrested and he will be banished.
Yes, those you freed told me. From now on, you are my Karants, my friend. You knew how to renew my trust in your clan. Just as trees grow back after being cut.
Thank you, Dunkus. I'm honored. Will you give us the old man now?
If you allow it, I would like to punish him myself. Enough blood has been spilled, and he will only call for more of it, since he loved the forest to the point of killing for it. He will be sentenced to heal it. Every day he will replant what your men will cut down. Every day until the end of his life. Does this punishment seem acceptable to you?
If I explain to Sir de Corsilion that the man was sentenced to forced labor, I suppose he will approve. Thank you, Dunkus. It's a wise sentence.
Is there anything else?
I must leave. Goodbye, Dunkus.
Qua awalum seg.